Greetings, thrill seekers. It's Max from Season Dice-ist. This is the second part of the introductory scenario for my character, Dante Butterworth, and Sarah's character, Quint, but not the one from Jaws. Hope you enjoy.
So you make your way over, you manage to get sort of, you're probably within about 20 feet of this thing.
Yeah.
You just need to watch your timing now because of the robot coming back around as well.
Okay.
So if you time it right, you can probably make your way over to the generator. But you've got that, it's the chicken and the egg thing that to turn off the beams, you need to get to the generator.
Yeah.
So, unless you brought something with you that, I don't know, if it was fired from, say, a silent crossbow, it could short out the generator. Or something like that.
But there's still doors in the way of the generator, isn't there?
There are.
But,
They're metal.
but that cable was just in a conduit, wasn't it?
Mm.
Well, then I'm going to pull out my silenced Walther PPK that's been in my family for generations.
Yeah, nice.
And just shoot the conduit.
Okay, fair enough.
Because if there's a door, I don't want to fuck with it.
Make the
I'll
roll.
just shoot the thing.
Straightforward roll.
Gunnery is kinetic. This isn't.
Yeah,
kinetic. Gunnery's big
stuff.
Yeah.
And
12
what's your...
plus 5.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
We get the completely cinematic and totally unrealistic silenced PPK going off, and it does. There's just a there's this thing, and
it
you
broke
severed the cable. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's likely that you can make your way.
Was there anything else visibly running off that?
No, but some of the lights do flicker and go out above the doors and things like that. Now, there's nobody out other than the robot to notice, so whether the robot would notice that kind of thing, it hasn't so far.
Or whether it's running for things inside.
Yeah, so, somebody might come out to come and have a look shortly, so it's whether you want to wait for someone else to open the door to come and see what's happened to the generator.
Let's wait for the robot to do another cycle, because that'll be, about 10 minutes total.
Okay. So, as the robot stomps past... It sort of gets halfway back, and either it or somebody programming it seems to do something, because the robot doesn't go to the far end of the compound. It stops in the middle and sort of... and it starts sort of looking around and looking at things, and it's walking over to the door, and then it's sort of checking the door, and it's moving around. It's looking for something. And it starts to turn, and it's making its way towards the generator.
Okay. Again, do I recognise this type of robot? Specifically the model?
Mechatronics this time, for sure.
Yeah, it's all a 4.
It's all the same.
What's that? 11 plus 4.
Yeah, I think you do. Call it what you like, but yes.
Is there a big red button on the back of it that shuts it down?
Ooh, you would need a 12 on that roll to have a big red button to shut it down. You can risk getting up behind it if you can pull off a good enough sneak roll and get behind it. Right.
I'll tell you right now, I can't do that.
One of your co-workers possibly could.
The little goblin man. Yeah.
Either that or Tweedy.
Well, he's the smallest though, isn't he? The Fraxy boy.
Well, the Fraxians are big.
Fraxians
are not small. No, Fraxians are very big. I'm not sure, but Fraxians are easily as tall, if not taller than you.
Oh, right.
They're very agile, and they've got the 4 eyes and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, right, okay.
But they're not little.
Right.
They're pretty big, horrible panther cat-looking things.
Panthers are stealthy. I'm going to send him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just like Sean Connery.
He does.
That's what we got him the role as James Bond,
He kind of... There's a moment of comedy as he kind of gets behind it.
Yep.
And then he's kind of going to... Now what do I do? What do I do now? We're going to need a mechatronics roll to see if you know what to...
well, I'm just going to say... shoot me a picture from your implant to me, and then I'll tell you if it's got anything.
He does that.
Right. Is there any sort of kill switch or any sort of...
there's a panel that you could probably open on the back of it, and that will get you
have everything in it.
Rudimentary stuff. Right. He's going to have to get very close, and he's going to have to... at the moment, it's one of those comedy moments where as the robot does that, he kind of backs around behind it.
Well, I'm going to send him back then.
Okay.
Because he doesn't need to do that.
Right.
I just need to know that it's there in case we need to do that.
Okay.
Because it's now looking at the generator room, isn't it?
It is.
So while it's doing that, we're going to chuff off and go down that that laser way.
Right, and go down to the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and try and get through. Okay, it can't see the door from where, because it had to go around a corner to get to where the generator is. Bearing in mind you don't know how long it's going to be there, but you can absolutely make your way across to the door.
Right. Can I get up to the door?
You can get up to the door.
No one looking around?
It doesn't seem to be. Nothing's gone off.
Sweet.
So far, so good.
So it's just like a panel. Is it a key combination, or is it
basically
a hit procs? Or
no, it's a key combination.
Okay. These are
it's a standard Star Wars random buttons with a key combo thing that clearly has a thing that R2-D2 can put his penis into.
Yeah. Well, I would know that there is a procedure for using it, so I know it's like X number of keys and then a flick of a switch.
You can hack into it.
Yeah, most of the people here are.
What would we be on by now? About USB X or something?
Probably, yeah.
Well, at this point.
But what I'm going to say is a lot of people around here would be some sort of organic, biological creature, aren't they? It's not robots using this stuff.
No.
So I'm going to just dust for prints, basically, do a basic dust for prints.
Okay, yeah.
And just going without causing too much of a fuss.
Okay, so just make it, let's say it's all the same for you, but make an attack roll. Oh.
That's a bit of a yikes.
As you go through your pack, there's a horrible feeling in the little kit that you use to do that. You sort of grab it and you do the and all the dust goes onto the floor.
Bugger.
Let's keep the comms quiet.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly grab up some of the dust and some of the dirt and do the best with what I've got and hope that I can get most of the keys.
Okay. So you can smear this.
Oh no, I'm going to pick it up to the floor and sort of drop it and blow it so that it just sticks to the oils on the keys.
That's going to have to be the most remarkable roll you've ever made for that to work.
Are you ready for it, Martin?
Considering the one that you just threw.
Are you ready for the most remarkable roll that you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
3 12s I'm going to get on these two dice.
On those two dice, yeah. What does Quint do for the rest of the evening?
Stay sober, but is pretending to neck a lot.
Me with Quint.
Quint's on the job.
Okay.
Quint is professional when they're on the
Quint
job.
would find it hard to resist. Okay. No, that's cool.
The enemy for Quint is boredom.
Right.
Boredom
There's
and
lots of
all the
excitement in
destructive tendencies
All these
will come
drugs,
out.
if you get really excited.
Yeah, but they're on the job. So, and Quint will be talking to the backup because they've spent a bit more time in Department 27. They'll know whether, that deal is legit, not legit, what the limits are. So,
Are you going to talk to them in here about that?
No, that'll be back in, bug-swept privacy.
Right.
For now, Quint will have maybe girl on one arm, boy on the other, a couple of beers.
Yeah.
And Quint will be encouraging the backup to do the same.
Okay. Yeah, they're not daft. They know what to do. Interestingly, and you could sort of argue it as a point of honour with the biker gang. 3 of you not deliberately not taking the drugs is a little obvious, but you can sort of say, well, actually, we don't. You could probably argue it.
We're on the way up.
We sell it, we don't use it.
Exactly. We're not your common thugs. We're on the way up.
All that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the evening passes. You're not going looking for trouble or anything like that. There is gambling if you're interested. You get stuck into
A little, but it'll be just kind of enjoyment level and raucous, but not stupid.
Cool. Do we have like a carousing skill or something like that? I was just thinking. I want to see how the evening goes and what sort of an impact you make on this guy and his crew. Just do a charisma, I think, just to see how the evening goes down. Get a read on it.
Ooh.
Oh my word, it goes down incredibly well with a roll of 21, is that
Yes.
Yeah,
wow.
and with a 12.
Thank you.
You know about, by the end of the evening,
we're in
everything
thick
about
with
him.
it, yeah.
His sisters, brothers, second cousins, aunts, all that kind of stuff.
Invitations
the first
to weddings.
names of all of his crew, all of the bouncers are now calling you, right, and what have you, Ivans, Ivan, and all that kind of stuff. So everywhere you go, you kind of become mates with everyone. Weirdly, and most impressively, he absolutely will not tell you, even with that role, who the other people are.
Which is fair, and I'm not going to press
You get, with a 12, you get the sense that whoever it is, he's genuinely pretty scared of them.
Yeah.
And it's enough that somebody this high up in a pretty decent organisation is genuinely frightened of letting them, or rather letting you have the deal, not letting them have the deal.
I get it.
You certainly get that impression. So whatever you're going to talk to the boss about, you're going to have to make a really good argument. You very much get that from this evening's conversation that goes down in the bar. The following day, actually, your head's not too bad. You didn't go crazy. You made some decent rolls, so you didn't get the better of you. And you were taken to a private estate somewhere out on the outskirts of the town. You see sprawling gardens again. There's the ubiquitous guards on the gate. They swing back. Whatever technology and security is here is expensive enough to be really low key and not be really noticeable. So they probably paid a lot of money for it.
Absolutely.
And you are taken into a very stylish and whatever modern architecture is for Valkyrians. Cutting edge, sort of beautiful estate. It's near the coast, and you are led through artistically, stylishly designed rooms to an area where you meet.
Fans would be uncomfortable here, and I think Quint will make that obvious.
Yeah.
Bit nervous, bit,
Yeah.
toe to toe, bit, looking round and.
You're quite surprised, considering virtually everybody else in the organisation is Valkyrian, to discover that I forgot his name. To discover that Narani, the boss, comes over and introduces herself. She's a very stylishly dressed and particularly attractive Navarian.
So it's Nirani and she is Navarian.
She gets up straight away when she sees you and she'll say, Mr. Kazarian?
Vans.
It's Vans.
Yeah.
How perky. Offers a hand. I'm pleased to meet you. Yeah. It's a human thing. I learned it during the war. Because it's a nice way to show trust. We shake hands, you see. Yeah.
He will awkwardly.
Yeah. Okay.
Stand
please.
Right.
Sit down.
Right.
We're going to offer you a beverage.
Beer?
A beer, certainly. A beer. Just provide. So, I think my associates have explained the situation to you.
Yeah.
And we're certainly interested in your offer, but we have had a very keen counter offer of over 4 million.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
So I wondered what perhaps you might be able to offer us that this deal can't. It's not necessarily you understand the money on the table that's the issue.
I understand that maybe this is a crew that we both don't like, and if we work together, we could take down that crew, and you can have the 4 million, and then we can give you what we were going to pay you anyway, and you can give us the gear, right? Yeah.
She looks at you and yes. I don't think you really grasp the situation. The group that are interested, they are absolutely not a group of people that you want to mess around with. The group in question.
What is the group? What's the group? Tell me the group.
I don't think they have a name.
Oh.
Not in that way.
They're not established then?
Not in the traditional sense, no. But they have lots of fingers and lots of pies, let's say. Their reach is far, and we need to be very careful how we handle it. We're only actually, frankly, interested in your offer simply because we owe the gang a certain amount of favour. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sat here having this meeting. We wouldn't even
appreciate
it.
that. Yeah.
What I'm asking is, and if I can put it bluntly, it's not about the money. What can you offer me? What can you give me above 4 million. I'm assuming that you have the 4 million. I'm assuming that you might have, say, 5 million.
Yeah, Vans kind of sneaks a quick side eye at the backup, but kind of then
Give
just
them
goes...
the nod. You know.
Yeah.
Like, somewhere back in his office, the boss is going, what? How much? Like, you've only been on the job for 48 hours. You bankrupted the entire organisation.
Of course we can.
But what else? What meaningful, tangible thing can you give me beyond money that's going to make me want to double cross? Well, or certainly
We can
not
fuck
agree with
their
it.
shit up for you with that part of it.
All right.
We've got our own use for it, right? Yeah. But we can spare a bit. We can help you fuck their shit up so that they don't threaten you anymore.
Fine, prove it.
Right? What do you want us to do?
I can give you the serial number of the ship that they've come in on.
Yeah.
I want you to get on board.
Sure.
I want you to screw with the ship. And if you can take it out and you can prove to me that you can do that without it all coming back on us, then you have a deal.
Point us the way.
She basically hands you over an information widget or whatever. You hand it off to your crony behind you.
It's paperwork.
Yeah. You really. These are things that you just can't roll on for Quint, aren't they? They're hard rules that just do not go anywhere. It's like, wow. She says, "Well, I think that concludes our meeting."
Right.
So, I look forward to seeing you when you have some results.
Vans will kind of awkwardly do the not quite sure what they're
kind
doing.
Of don't, sort of overstretch and all that kind of thing.
It's not that remarkable, but with the 4...
It's... I think you're going to have to slice your way in there, I'm afraid.
Okay.
There is the all very slightly discernible comes over the comms.
All right then, I'll get out my toolkit, take the front off it, look for whatever would be like what's those feature a mag log?
Well, you've got a couple of
guess,
options. Do you want to actually go into it cybernetically and do it that way, or do you want to actually cause it to short out?
I think I just want to short the relay.
Cool. Then just make me a straight up roll.
Right.
You cut a couple of wires and cross this and cross that. And...
Yes, I'm going to take the panel off. I'm going to use one of the wires that I can find in there just to short the relay so it opens and then locks behind us.
Okay.
Because it'll only do it for the momentary
Locks
wires.
behind you.
Yeah, because we don't want people just following us in. Because
No.
they've then got a broken panel.
No,
to
it's more
contend
that you
with.
getting out that I'm entertained by.
I'll get out, don't you worry.
Yeah.
9 and a 5 and a 4.
Absolutely. No trouble at all with that.
Right.
So yeah, this thing...
So quick guys, quick, and then I do the thing and it does the...
Okay, so you basically come into a darkened corridor at the moment because somebody's knocked the lights out.
Yeah.
But you can sort of flick through the filters on your combat suits and you can see that there is a room to your left, a room to your right, or the corridor carries straight on.
Okay.
Your boss Aquasi sort of goes, wait, and he brings up something, and he does actually bring you up a blueprint, which you can have on your heads-up display. He has a map of the place.
So we're about to...
You've come in through here,
there.
and you're kind of standing here. You're facing these two rooms, or it goes straight ahead.
What's a lot of rubble?
Not appearing in this adventure.
Okay. In that case, so we've just gone through that door. Let's work left.
You're not sure. It's a good call that probably something like either one of these smaller rooms would probably be used to hold him.
Yeah.
If they're questioning him, he could be in the briefing room.
Right.
So, up to you. But another option you got is if you can find somewhere to hack into the system, you could use the cameras in here to try and locate where he is. Or
But also,
like
any
that.
room we've not cleared or at least seen, there's potential bad guys in there that could block behind us.
For sure.
So I want to clear that left room. What's the door situation?
Okay, so it's all sliding doors in here. There's no camera in this corridor because it would have been what was outside the door, which you successfully knocked out. There may well be other cameras in here, though. That would be standard setup that they can check corridors and things like that. At the moment, though, you've basically got these two sliding doors that you can see here on this side, and then the corridor continues.
Yeah. But what about this door to that
On
small
that
room
side,
there,
so that's just a normal lock.
Yeah.
You know, well, for the sake of argument, like a Yale lock on the door.
So I got
a
out a
key
credit
lock,
card and
key-
bumped the door,
you can,
basically.
you can make the roll.
Yeah. I will try and bump the latch open.
Yeah, it is locked.
Rather than picking it, because that'll be quicker. 10,
Oh,
11.
lovely. No trouble at
there
all.
you go.
Yeah, absolutely. In like Flynn, quick jiggle and everybody ushers into this room.
Yeah.
As you say, smallish room. Probably no more than 12, 14 feet across.
Okay, anything in it?
It looks like it's some sort of mothballed office. So there is a computer in here, things like that. It doesn't look like it's been used for a while, though. This obviously isn't a purpose-built pirate base. It was something else
it's been used
that they've
yeah.
pretty much taken over and are now using as their pirate base. So yeah, there's computer equipment in here. Whether it's on the intranet or not, you'd have to sort of fire it up and find out. There's some dusty empty shelves, a couple of other desks in the corners, that kind of thing.
Right, okay,
Sort
but
of
nothing
chairs.
seems
Nothing
massively
very
useful.
exciting,
Cool.
to be perfectly honest.
Well, let's collapse back out the room. Let's have a look on the right, see what's in there.
Okay, so on this one? Mm-hmm. Yep, okay. So it's a fairly old structure. Again, it's the same sort of thing. You can get through these doors pretty easily. And you go in there, this is very disused. Some of the ceiling has fallen in through damp and things like that. There are actually roots of trees and things from above that have kind of pushed through the concrete of the ceiling.
Okay.
And some of it's collapsed. This room isn't used. Again, there's old equipment in here that's probably been piled in here quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not been used in quite a long time.
Is there any dead space in any of the holes in the roof? Or is it filled with sodden dirt?
It's pretty much soil and stuff that's
Right.
coming in. It's sort of pushing its way through the insulation and ducting and things like that above it. So there's some ducting sort of hanging down, that kind of stuff.
We couldn't.
You could probably climb into the, if you were small enough, you could get into the air conditioning.
Who's our smallest man?
Actually, you probably are,
Yeah?
to be fair. Yeah. Either you or Tweely.
I'm old and set in my ways.
Well, it's up to you, then. You can...
Fucking dance.
Get it?
Yeah.
Good recovery.
I'll send her up to just to give it a recce, see where it goes.
Okay. Always good on a solo adventure to send somebody else to do the work.
Yeah,
I
you
think,
know, why try harder?
Yeah, well,
You know?
absolutely.
Don't want to accidentally come across any adventure.
Well, you know. Well, no, but Jack, this character has to survive into the main game.
I'll worry about that. You play the game. I'll worry about it. Yeah, so you can kind of, you boost her up.
Yep.
You put your hand down and she sort of stands on your hands and gets up.
I've got a bum knee.
Okay,
so
right. Well, the Conjurer can pick her up by the back
Yeah.
of her suit and put her up into the thing. What do you want it to do?
see if she can work out sort of roughly how far it would go through the facility.
Okay, so she can bring it up on a map, obviously. She can trace it along the map. Basically, she manages to get herself very quietly. She's hanging it over where the mess hall is. And there are a few of these pirates in there. It's a mixed bunch. She reports back, sub-vocally. She's sort of saying there's people in here eating and drinking. Quite a bit of noise. It's a whole mix. There's Valkyrian in here. There's a couple of humans. There's some Faraxi.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bunch.
Roughly how many?
From the vent where she's looking,
Yeah.
she can see 3.
It's not too bad at all. Okay, I might leave her there to keep eyes on,
Okay.
because that's 3, we know where they are. Mm-hmm. If they leave there, we know that...
Oh, no, there's another 27 to go.
But at least we know that, they've left there in a hurry,
Yeah.
Someone's coming for us,
Yeah.
there's probably others.
Yep, fair
you
enough.
know.
She can move forward. She's not stuck here, but she'll have to be very careful doing it because obviously they'll hear her if she's in the
Yeah.
air vents and things. But she could take a look at the main office if you wanted to.
Could she get to the briefing room?
I mean,
Or does it not seem to go
I'm
quite
amazed
far?
that you, of all people, have not said, have I not bought a drone that I can fly through the air conditioning system to look for
Do
everything?
you know how loud drones are, Martin?
Oh, yeah, but they'd be anti-grav drones now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but they still
To
do
the
the
future. Well, I suppose.
noise,
yeah,
especially
absolutely.
in the aircon.
Send a big hairy Faraxi up instead. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, but hair softens sound.
Okay, what do you want her to do?
See if you can get to the briefing room and see any way into it.
Right,
sort of
make
if there's any
a stealth
vents.
roll for her then. She is very stealthy. She gets +5.
Oh, 5. That's a lot better than I am. And she'll need it, I think. What's that? 13 plus 5. Actually, that's not too bad.
That's not
That's
13.
11,
That's
sorry.
11 plus 5. That would be 16. It's still
16,
enough, and she's
right.
fine. Okay. So she makes her way across the thing. In the main office, this is where it's kind of all happening. So it looks like, she sort of reports back to you, this looks like there's quite a discussion going on. There's quite a few of them in here. There's about 8 people that she can count.
Right.
Again, it's a mix of various races. They seem to be discussing something, and they seem to be piloting the robot outside. Right. And they're sort of talking, and one of them's pointing at the camera, and another one's sort of chatting away to them, or what have you. They don't seem to be alarmed. No alarms have gone off or anything like that at the moment, but they definitely have something's going on. They're just trying to do they're radioing in to the perimeter guards. Yeah. And of course they're radioing back, and you can hear, well, I haven't seen anything, nothing at all.
Yeah. And I've not heard anything either, because they're deaf.
No, absolutely. So yeah, completely deaf with their double one. But this is kind of the main hub. You can see this would be the security central, that kind of thing. So she's, as I say, she's reporting there's quite a few people in here. Again, she can go further on if you wanted to.
Is there any obvious way down for her in any of the corridors?
There'll be maintenance hatches in the air conditioning, or vents that she can move out of the way.
Okay. Is there in particular one there, though?
Yeah, there can be one there.
Okay.
She's probably not going to be very happy to use it, because somebody could come out of either of those rooms at any moment.
Well, I'm not going to get her to use it now, but just that plan, the plan to the second. Okay. I'm formulating it.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, see if she can see into the briefing room through any things, but don't
right,
push her.
So she's going to, if you make another roll for her then, because she's going to move along the air.
Yeah. 16 plus 5.
16 plus 5, 21, good lord. Yeah, no problem at all. She moves forward, and she quite excitedly sort of, well, as much as the computer sort of vocalization can make it, is like, he's here, I can see him.
Right.
He's wearing his robes. And she starts to chuckle and says, he's complaining very loudly about how cold it is, and they've not brought him decent food. And
that's what we like to hear. Okay. Right, in that case, yeah, we're going to come out of here, check that the corridor's still clear. I'm going to leave, well, I'm going to check what that door is there, that one that goes up towards the main office.
Okay, so this one here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, it's another sort of lock door.
Yeah.
This one is actually open though.
Okay.
And you can, if you get close to it, you're going to hear voices. There are people in the main office.
Yeah.
Now, there's nobody in that corridor at the moment, but you can see in the little tiny sort of glass, the wired glass type sort of window in the doors. Yeah. So it's frosted. You can't quite see who it is, but you can see forms moving backwards and forwards,
What, in the little corridor?
Yeah. Well, they're not in the little corridor. They're probably through the other door.
Right, I see. In that case, I'm going to get us to stack up on the corner, swing the door. Anyone there?
So you're opening this door here?
Yes, into the little corridor.
And into the little corridor. You can edge it open and know there's nobody in there. There's definitely people there in that room beyond, because you can hear them now. You're close enough. Can't quite make out the conversation, but you can absolutely hear voices.
Right. But we can see sort of roughly where they are in the room in like a...
Well, she can sort of turn around. On the roll she made before of a 21, she can turn around and she can sort of say, right, there's 3 by this computer bank and there's 2 over there.
But what I'm going to say is I want her to use that 21
yeah,
to get down in that little corridor.
Okay, right. So when is she timing that for?
So I want us to be able to see as much as we can through that, see how many bodies and where they are.
Right. Are you putting a camera under the door or something like that?
Is the door good enough of a gap to put a camera?
I will let the door be good enough of a gap to put a camera under.
Then yes, we will shove a little mirror cam through.
Okay, yep. So you can do that. Make me a tech roll, not because you can't put the camera underneath, but I want to see if anybody notices
Yeah, I
it.
thought that was going to happen. 18 plus 4.
Oh, no trouble at all. So yeah, and you get a really decent angle.
God.
So you can sort of, I'm not going to sit here and sort of just, where everybody is, but yes, you can work out. There are 8 people in this room. You can see 8 pairs of legs, and you can work out where they are in the room, and you can fire that straight up to everybody's visors as well, so that they've got that information for the 3 of you.
Okay. Then in that case, I'm going to wait until I see a point where at least the majority of them are sort of congregated in a bit of a mass, maybe having a chat.
Right. So just to say, has the weapon that you've chosen got burst fire?
Oh, that's a very good point.
Because the way burst fire works in
Yes.
this, so what happens is it's not a case of making multiple rolls in this.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it works is it effectively creates a cone in front of your weapon.
Right.
So if you can get as many as possible within the cone of the weapon, they've all got to make a saving throw. And even if they make it, as long as you make a hit roll, they would still take half damage, even if they don't take full damage.
Right.
So if all three of you do that, you could literally hit the room. I will just say, if you do, this is where all the equipment is.
Yes.
So if you hit all the consoles and things with 3 lots of fully
yeah.
automatic energy fire, you're going to bugger everything. So just saying. Entirely up to you. You might be quite happy to do that.
Yeah, it's within grasp, I feel. I think if we're going to go hot, we go hot now.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll get her down in that little corridor.
Yep.
I want her weapon trained on that door.
Okay.
So that if anyone tries to flee...
Don't step through it, whatever you do.
Do not step through it, but if anyone tries to flee,
Yep.
you can gun them down immediately.
Okay.
And then we're going to swing that door.
Okay. And you're shown back out, you're shown back to the hotel where you're staying over. Basically, you're given information on the drive, whatever you want to call it, in sci-fi terms. And it gives you the serial number, it gives you the name of a ship. It's these people coming on. And it gives you some photo IDs. Noticeably and interestingly, quite a lot of them are Terrans.
Okay.
There's one of a woman, there's 2 men. They also have non-Terran crew. That's not much of a stretch for you. You know they have to because they're not legally allowed to own and operate warp-capable ships.
Give me the creeps, them Terrans.
So it's like, well,
I mean,
fought
they're
against
so
them.
smooth.
Absolutely. No feathers.
No
nothing.
ornamentation.
No, nothing
Just-
at all. What went on during the war? Were there any sort of notable things that went on during the war? Have you thought about it at all? What Quint was involved in? Were there any particular operations or anything? I mean,
Not
we know you
really,
was-
because
no.
Quint wouldn't do a lot of frontline work because Quint is just not set up for that kind of work. Now, going behind lines and trying to extract information, yes. But Quint would never have been up close and personal and directly in contact.
Right.
Yeah. The Terrans are a bit freaky.
So it's more on the information side
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah.
You'd be working in the background
Yeah.
sort of thing. Okay, cool.
So
Your
Quint doesn't have any kind of direct animosity, but they're a bit creepy. There's, like, you can't tell, what's going on. They're just,
you can't read.
you can't read
a
the Terran.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? I mean, Valkyrian, the feathers go up a little bit, you know what it means, certain pheromones come out, you know what it means. You know where you are
These
with a
humans.
Valkyrian. But with a human,
Yeah.
they just smell the same all the time.
They're all the same, aren't they?
Yeah, all of them. Just
Slightly
just,
different colours, but really.
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
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 So Alaric and Rayla, they are, sort of sat in your room, and it's like, well, okay, what's the play? What are we going to do?
Well, really, I mean, we need to take the explosives off the market, but we also need to know what this group is because this group has spooked Nirani, and Nirani does not come across as somebody who would be easily spooked. Therefore, this is bigger than just a explosives deal. So we're going to go along and have a go at infiltrating that ship.
Right.
We're going to get what information we can.
So you want,
And-
you want specifically to go after the ship, not the people, though. That's what you're
No,
interested in.
one of us is going to have to do a bit of archive deep diving on the people that have been flagged up.
Right.
That's not going to be me.
Okay, right. So.
Yeah.
Alaric. Alaric? Is that what they call it? Right. Alaric.
Alaric and
Alaric.
Rayla.
Turns out he's more the kind of physical guy
Yeah,
of the two that you've got, although they're both pretty capable. But Rayla says she can run that.
yeah.
I can see what I can find out. We'll need to be careful. We could... How do you want me to do it? Do you want me to go in as if I'm who we are, as in the biker gang looking for information, or do you want me to go via channels back to Department 27 and try and do it that way? Because we can probably find out a lot more going that way, but we leave it open to how we would know all that stuff.
Exactly. Nirani would be expecting us to do it as we are. So we are going to still be biker gang, but we're going to go civvy, as if we're biker gang trying to be infiltrating.
Right.
The fact that we'll be better at it than she's expecting is going to be her surprise, but we are going to absolutely be keeping our cover,
right,
but going plain clothes. We'll be losing our patches, we'll be dressing to do it.
Cool. So basically she can stay here, and she can start to do that kind
She
of
can
thing.
run comms. We'll have
and she can set up firewalls
links,
and things, so she can start to go in and do that information, start trying to hack in stuff. And
do we have body cams and stuff with our comm links?
You will have it on your ship.
Right.
You can get all of that stuff, and you've got.
So if we are going in, we can have the old buttonhole camera relaying to her, so she can say, "Oh, by the way."
About the only thing you would struggle, you've probably got them on ship, but the only things you're going to struggle to get on planet are going to be full-on weapon rigs, wandering around in full-on body armour, military.
They wouldn't be
stuff.
doing it. I mean, a biker gang trying to be civvy to infiltrate. They're not going to have access to it, so I'm not even going to bother. There is the chance you are at something of a disadvantage in terms of you trying to get in like that onto something that's probably highly armed, ship of some sort, where the crew who are trying to do illegal deals. We're going to spend a couple of days just watching the coming and goings, because I reckon we've got a little bit of time before the deal has been sorted. And Quint doesn't do anything without getting the lay of the land first.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's kind of what you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we will make. Let's do. I think. What's
is it a
it?
perception,
I was
alertness?
thinking, is it sort of more that kind of thing?
I think it's an alertness perception
Let's go
thing.
with that then, and let's see what we get. Yeah.
Holy
Ooh,
crap.
my God, you're rolling like. So A, it's a 12. And B, so what's that, 23 plus...
Plus 3, 26.
26. Because they're...
I love these dice.
They
Thank
are
you.
basically assuming that they're
the biggest gang
They're
in
the
town.
biggest gang, they have nothing to lose. They should be on safe ground here because as far as they're concerned, they're just making a deal.
Yeah. It's a small fry to them, potentially.
Yeah. They are... frankly, shockingly lax doing what they're doing. They are openly getting completely drunk. They're not looking after themselves. They're not watching their own backs. They're going in and out. They go to the nightclub all the time, where you were.
Yeah.
They're taking every drug under the sun, doing all sorts of things. So there seems to be sort of 5 of them.
It's not ship shape, is it?
No, not at all. The 3 humans particularly are having... In fact, you would say with the role that you're on, it's like they've obviously just been let off a leash.
Their squad is on tour.
They are absolutely sort of
shore
like,
leave.
just they've been given the keys to the candy store kind of thing, and they are absolutely going for it.
They've got shore leave fever.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. It does mean that whomever is left on the ship and things, these lot wouldn't be any fit state to do anything about it. If you want to get onto the ship and go exploring and see what's what, you could definitely do that. The Valkyrians that are part of the crew seem to be a lot better than the humans are. These guys, like, if this is a crew, it's a weird crew because none of the Terrans don't seem to get on with the Valkyrians particularly well.
Then we'll cozy up with the Valkyrians. We'll have seen that, and we'll have been going, hey, what are you doing hanging around with Smoothskins?
Right. So you're going to absolutely, you're sort of going to go and approach and
absolutely on that roll. I think they'll have kind of worked out that there's an opening here.
Yeah. Okay, so you approach one in particular, buying him a drink, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
He introduces himself as Ralkash. Eventually, after you buy him a drink of 3. And Ralcash. Smoothskins, man. They're just... How did they keep us all at bay for 10 years in the war? I mean, look at them. Look at them.
They seem a mess, man.
They are a mess. I mean, what a fucking waste of space, all three of them. What a mess. He's kind of, I can't believe it.
Are you having to babysit them?
Yeah, no, we've been paid well. We've been paid good.
Yeah, there is
Honestly,
that.
it's ridiculous. If it wasn't for the money, honestly, it's just appalling. I don't know. I think we might get this deal done, quite frankly, between you and me. I might ditch him out of an airlock.
Don't blame you. Doesn't look like the world would lose much.
Yeah. So what are you doing here, Amy?
You know, trying to get a leg up in the world.
Well, it makes a change from a leg over in this nightclub. Yeah, so basically the conversation goes like that. He doesn't seem very impressed by the Terrans either. He's quite willing to sort of spill the beans on what's going on. He wants the deal done, and then he wants to be off planet as rapidly as possible, and somebody's paying him a lot of money to do it.
Hey, we could do with a bit of a gig. Can you put word in for us to get a job on the ship? Because, you know...
On our ship?
Yeah, money's money, man. Money's money.
I can have a word. We're kind of in the middle of a job, though. I mean, it's not like, you know, maybe... why don't I take your contact details, and then maybe we can get in touch with you, work something out. I can put you in touch with people, you know, see what's going down. You look the capable sort.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, you sort of trade details and stuff like that. So, clearly, Valkyrian contingent of this party is not impressed with the Terran contingent. The Terrans are doing exactly as I said. They're just basically drinking the entire nightclub dry. They're, from what, again, chatting to this guy, you get the impression there's probably only another couple of people on the ship when they're off it. So it's not like it's heavily guarded or anything like that. So you could probably make a go. You might have to... The only problem you've got is... Are you directly going after the ship, or are you actually going to try and get into the offices of the starport and sort of officially get onto the ship, as it were, and actually...
They must have deliveries, food deliveries, etc, etc.
Yeah, they'll be putting new supplies on ready for when they take off. They're not expecting to be here forever. From the way he's talking, they don't want to be here for more than a couple of days, really.
Then we've got to move fast, so we're going to go and try to just pose as people taking supplies on board.
Ooh, okay.
While everybody's at the nightclub.
In that case, I think that we need another mystification roll.
Ooh.
Ooh.
12, 13.
Okay, it's
14.
14 with a 1. So, you absolutely...
You let me down, you were doing so well.
You have a word with the other team.
Yeah.
Who want you to, you know, sort of prove yourselves. And they will get you uniforms and things.
Yeah.
The two of you get yourselves dressed up. You get ready to go and sort this out. We have the classic Indiana Jones bit.
It's too short!
Yeah, all that kind of thing. And obviously you have to go in. You beat up the two people who were going to do the delivery. There's a small kerfuffle off camera.
And we're going to burst fire a group of however
I'm
many
going to
we
give
can-
you advantage
Okay.
on this roll. Now, I'm assuming you're going to get into the room enough that all three of you are going to get to fire burst fire onto this.
I've got a button hook and then try and move to domination points, I think.
Right, okay. So, what we'll do is then, let's have... Ooh, what could we put that under? You kind of breaking and entering roll. What would we stick that under, do you think? It's kind of combativity almost in its weird and little way, isn't it?
Oh,
It's like
so I was going to say
tactics.
strength, but tactics could work.
Yeah, something like that.
Is there a tactics?
Well, that's what I'm just looking
Oh,
for.
right, I thought you'd seen it.
No, God, no, I don't know it that well. Not yet, I'm still learning.
So I would have said strength, but I guess it's not, is it? Some sort of intelligence? Warfare, I guess, would be.
Warfare, yeah. That's
I've
a
got a
good
3 in warfare.
Let's go for it then. So, you make a roll on your warfare. I'm going to make a roll for the other two on their warfare.
Yep.
And let's just see how well the team works together. So,
Yeah.
you go first. And then we'll
Do
see
I
how
need
we
another
do.
dice for...
You've got advantage, so there should be... There you go, there's another one.
Ah, cracking.
So, you take the two best of your three.
So that would be 18
Oh,
plus
yeah.
3.
Plus 3, so no problem at all on a 21. The guys, I'm just going to make one roll for both of them to speed things up. And what's that? 6 and that. So they
One of
get
them's a 12.
Well, they get 22. So you definitely, all three of you sort of move.
But also one of them's a 12.
And one of them's a 12. We'll do more damage, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let them. They make their attack roll.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a quick roll to see if they make a dex roll on the other side of this.
Go for it.
Just these sheets very quickly. That's 16. And no, they don't. They tragically fail. So, all three of you, how much damage does your weapon do?
2d6 energy.
Right, so 2d6 energy, so there's your 2d6. If I move them up for you.
Only 4.
So that's 4 off there. I'll just write this down. So you do 4. And they do... I'm going to give them an extra d6 on theirs for the 12 that they got.
12, yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. So they do get 9. They
That's
do
not
9
bad,
points of damage. So you actually do... what's that? 13 points of damage to everybody in the room. They are all horribly shocked and horribly damaged. You riddle them. You basically walk in and just open 3 energy weapons into the room. There's all sorts goes off. These people are all, shaking around all over the place. There's multiple energy blasts hit them as you cream the room basically with these weapons.
Yeah, that basically.
There's all sorts of dramatic dives. There's sparks coming off stuff that you hit on consoles. VDUs are getting blasted to crap. Hollow units are getting destroyed. There's sparks everywhere, smoke everywhere. They are all actually still conscious,
Right.
but absolutely in no capacity to kind of fight back. Some of them are kind of trying to grab weapons and come up. You can, if you want to finish them off, I'm going to let you. If you want to go for the coup de grace, I'll let you do it. But you need to do it now, before, otherwise I'm going to start rolling initiative.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't think we need to roll for the sake of 3 points damage on these. It's another burst from all of you, energy fire, and you take all these people out. Now, weirdly, alarms don't go off, because for the alarms to go off, someone would have to be in this room hitting the big red button to make the alarms go off.
Very good.
And you've just shot everything to crap. So basically, you've now got the main office, and you've got your other character. Tweely's still in this corridor here.
Yeah.
You guys are basically now stood in here with 8 dead bodies around you. There is suddenly a clatter from the door here as the 3 that were in the mess room.
Yeah.
They're going to come through this door. So I think we're on to rolling initiative.
Yes, how do we do that in this?
So basically, we rolled 2d6 and energy dex. 2d12, I beg your pardon.
2d12.
This being the double 12 system.
Oh my
and
you
word.
Nearly got them.
Oh my
2 11s, Joe.
Yeah. So they actually have... you're beating a 24.
I don't think I am.
Well, let's see. The Faraxi might do it. Oh, not bad.
12 plus... No, 13 plus 1.
Right.
So
So
14.
you're 14 for
I
your
did not
ends.
beat it.
Let's see how the others get on. Oh dear. Well, the Conjurman, predictably, he's quite slow, so he's last in the whole thing. And let's see. Not brilliant, but he's got a very good dex score, so he's on 17. So he goes before you.
Christ.
They go first.
Yeah.
Then him, then you, then the Conjurman. So these 3 guys, they're going to come through the door, see you. Let's try a warfare for them to see if they've got enough sense to kind of not stop in the door when they see what's happened.
Yep.
And try and come in and
That's a
open
good
fire.
point, yeah.
And no, they don't. They only roll 6. So basically, one of them's there. He fires, but the other 2 can't get a shot off.
Yeah.
1 to 2, it's you. 3 to 4, it's the Faraxi.
Yeah.
And 5 to 6, it's the Conjurman. 5 is the Conjurman. So good luck with that, everybody. So they'll almost certainly hit him. Actually, no, they won't. Oh wow! So he's so startled. He comes in.
Yeah.
Everybody's down on the floor. He has all these 2 mates stuck behind him trying to get past him.
Yeah.
And that's probably what puts his aim off, actually, because they sort of stumble into his back as he fires.
Backed up in the door.
Misses the Conjurman, and it ricochets off one of the computer banks. And our Faraxian friend will get to go. So he's certainly going to swirl round. And again, probably go for burst fire while he's got them all caught in the doorway. Oh, and he rolls, what's that, 18? Sorry, beg your pardon,
No,
20
yeah,
off his
20.
die. So 20 plus it's 6. So, yeah, he absolutely hits. Let's see what kind of damage is pulled
We'll
with
have to
this.
see.
And he does 7, so he certainly hits them. But they are still up, but it's you to go.
Right. In that case, I'll go for another burst, I reckon, then.
Yeah.
Which, if I hit, will be 2d6.
They technically should have made a dex save on that, but don't worry.
Oh, no,
about it.
no.
No, go
Oh,
for
okay.
it. It's alright. You've done it now. Ooh, I don't think that's going to hit.
That's a
Is it?
6 as well. So what's that?
Yeah.
9 plus.
What do you add? At 5, though.
5, yeah. So 14.
Yeah, no, defense 14. So
Oh,
no,
okay,
we're okay.
yeah.
So yeah, you do actually hit.
That means 2d6 it.
Yeah. So you actually do 7 points damage. Let's just see if they actually halve that.
Yep.
No, they don't. So you've done 7 points damage. So again, the other 3, with that actually takes out the remaining hit points. So they go down. So basically, you've blasted like half the contingent of the pirates in this place in one fell swoop. You've pretty much taken just
Good.
over, well, not quite half, but
Yeah.
plenty of them out.
Enough.
Tweely's reporting that she's not hearing anything from the other door yet.
Right. In that case, I want her to see if she can make entrance. We're going to come around and meet, and we'll leave Big Boy here.
Okay.
covering those 2
Yeah.
doors.
So he's staying in here. So I'll just put a little K on there so we know where he is.
K for Big Boy.
Yeah, she's in here. You're coming through this door. You're just meeting her in here, then ready to go through.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
then
because
see
there's
make
nothing in there,
entrance,
so you
yeah.
go straight through, can't you? So yeah, you're all stacked up on this door. Who's going in first?
Oof. And I've got pretty good combativity. What's everyone else said?
Oh, well, don't worry, they can
Yeah.
handle it. So yeah, no, these guys are good. They're kind of easily at your level.
I'll probably send her in then because she's not done any fighting yet. She's
Okay,
probably
fair enough.
itching to-
She's on the front, so you all sort of
Let's
stack
get
up on her
into
shoulder. She pulls out a flashbang. You come back and you're carrying the tray of goods with the uniform that's ever so slightly too small.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And you make your way to the ship, no problem. The ramp at the back of the ship, it looks like a sort of modified freighter, nothing very special. Ramp at the back of the ship goes down, and they start to let you take the cargo on board. As you come on board, there is the distinct, as even modern weapons do when you hear them, regardless of the fact that it's a blaster, there's that sort of clunk noise of something going and being powered up next to your head. As they kind of go, you're not the usual guy.
Yeah, no.
Where's Bob?
Dunno.
You don't know.
I don't know. They sent me to
You
come.
work for the victualling yards, and you don't know where the usual the guy is.
Well, yeah, maybe he's shitting himself. I don't know. Do you think I get told by the boss?
Roll for bullshit.
What we talking?
I'll let you have charm. I'll let you use mystification. I'll let you use whichever gives you.
Cunning?
I think cunning is fine. Oh, you are rolls
19.
12. Oh
20,
my goodness. 21. And he's like, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But he puts the gun down. He's like, look, I'm sorry about that, but we got to be careful.
Yeah, but look,
I've had enough of this.
I-
Sick of it.
I carry victuals in. Do you think I know everything? What's going on?
Yeah, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. Just
Cog,
put
man,
him in the
cog.
hole, man.
Right.
And he's like, in here on, it lets you off. He says, don't be long, I want to go for my lunch. And he sort of puts the ramp up behind you, and you're on the ship, heading for the cargo bay. What do you want to do?
I want to take this stuff to the cargo bay, but I am clocking everything as I go by. What am I seeing? What's the origin of the ship? How many people are on board? What's in the cargo hold? Anything out of place that shouldn't be there? Anything
Roll
that's there?
Inspection. It's halfway down under perception.
Ah, I see. Yes. Okay. Oof, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, this is originally it's a Valkyrian ship. You know this design. It's a bog standard freighter. It's been modified. It's probably carrying some kind of weapons. It's not quite a Q ship, but it is something a little bit like that in the sense it's got hidden weaponry on it. It's clean and tidy. It's not military clean and tidy, but it's a functional, well-run, decent ship. Things aren't hanging out of walls and stuff. It's all in functional condition. So it's well maintained. You've only seen the guy that's let you on board at the moment. You know that the other 5 aren't on board ship. You've deliberately picked a point where you can do this. It's not a massive ship. It's not huge. You could probably at most have maybe 10 people on board this with actual quarters. So it's got a main cargo bay area which you're heading for right now. Now you've come up the ramp. And split off that, there will be staterooms for. They probably have to double bunk, so there's probably only actually 5 staterooms, maybe 1 more for the captain. And then you'd have the cockpit, where probably crew of 3 for a ship like this.
Does it look like there's more money being put in? So protective coloration. Something can be a Ferrari under the hood, but it looks like a Ford Cortina.
You can't. You're not in the engine room. It's difficult to know if you could get to the engine room, if you could get to the helm, and actually things like that where you'd see that kind of stuff. There's nothing really to give it away walking down the corridors of the ship. But it could be that there's a much bigger engine in this thing than it actually needs, or something like that, or its warp technology is far better than it might be. But that's difficult to get just from coming up the ramp.
Looking at it on face value, it looks like it's presenting itself to be.
If it looks like anything, it's a in reasonable nick freighter with some hidden weaponry. That's what you would put it as. So it's a competent ship. It can look after itself in a fight, probably, but probably rather than starting a fight, it's the kind of thing that would be for defensive measures, you would think. So it could fight things off long enough that it can get up to warp and get itself out of trouble.
So the plan is, drop the goods where they're meant to go.
Okay.
Go out, and as we're going out, saying, look, man, you can go for lunch, but we've got more stuff to bring in. Are you going to be on later?
Yeah, okay. And it's just, well, yeah, I'm going to be here all the time, aren't I, until everybody gets back. I haven't been off the ship in 2 days.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Yeah, awful it is. It sucks.
Why are you the only one not allowed off then?
I don't know. It's up to the captain, isn't it? That's just the orders I've been given. She's sitting up on...
Look, I'm going to be coming back with a bit more gear in 10 minutes. If you want, I can sit here, make sure nobody else comes off. You just go off and have half hour.
That I never wash. But I tell you what, if you can get me, a few beers, that might make the time pass a bit quicker.
Of course.
You bring me that, man. I'll see you right.
Yeah, all right.
I'll see you right for doing it.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
Okay.
So we're going to leave.
Yep. Okay.
We're going to come back on board with his beers and maybe a little bit of explosive in one of the containers.
Okay, now you've sort of,
now we've
established your
scoped
credentials.
out. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We can, so it's like, here you go, mate.
Right. Okay. You can absolutely do all of that. You bring it in. You've got this small amount of explosive. It's. Ooh, have you got you've got explosives because everybody's got explosives.
Everybody's
do you have
got
a skill in explosives?
Absolutely fucking not.
Roll anyway. Let's see. You haven't set the charge. I'm not placing that responsibility on you. I'm assuming that your colleagues
it's a remote detonation. Yeah. It'll be placed on a thin part of the hull so that it can be detonated in space or whatever.
What this, the charge is, kind of thing. Yeah. It's more. Are you just going off?
No.
Ooh, 8 and 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely no.
That does a thing, and it's going to be by the hull, and that'll do a thing when the thing goes.
Somebody's described it to me, and I've done what they told me to do.
But really, you're trusting on what they've set up as to whether it's going to do what it's going to do. You do all of that. You give him his beers. You get off the ship. No problem at all. As you're coming off the ship, you notice that the other 5 are coming back. The Valkyrians, as I've said before, are far more professional than the Terrans.
Yeah.
The 2 Valkyrians take a look at you and are clearly not happy. They don't know you, they don't recognise you. You've just walked off their ship and they have no idea who you are. opens the door, whops the flashbang in,
Yeah.
pulls the door back again. There's a sort of, oh, Christ, or whatever the alien equivalent of that is,
Well,
and this thing goes off. And even you guys outside, there's kind of that in your ears a little bit as this thing goes off. There's a sort of flash through the glass, the safety glass of the door, and she swings the door in, goes in, and you just hear, you don't see it, but she fires off, blimey, with an 18 plus another 4, so again with a 22.
Yeah.
There's a sort of energy discharge as she takes somebody out on the floor.
Right.
And then there's a coughing and blinded Valkyrian guy in very nice robes sat at the table going, oh my goodness, oh my God, what's going on?
Very good. In that case, we're going to grab him, tape up his mouth, put a bag over his head, and tie it behind his hand.
Yeah, okay.
Because then he's controllable. We can just grab him and push him through the facility.
Nice. And I take it you're making your way back out the way that you came?
Pretty much, I think, yeah. Actually, while we're in here, though, on that wall, and on that wall, we're going to be planting explosives.
Right, and what's your timer going to be on your explosives?
Can we do 7.5 minutes?
7.5 minutes, that's very specific, Max. Yes, you can. They basically look like this, and you can set them. Will you settle for 7:20?
I'll settle for 7:20,
Okay,
as long as it's not 7:19.
Would you like to press the big button?
What is it, just...
Yeah.
Then yes.
Okay.
Right, let's get moving.
I want us to put it so maybe the camera can see it in some way. I don't know. We kind of need to see it as well. Jack, you'll have to tell me when it... it should go off, to be fair.
Right, so I'm going to come up. The big guy is facing the wall. I'm going to come up, hand on shoulder.
Yep.
I'm just going to follow him out in a train through there.
Okay. You know what's out there, though?
I do. It's going to be big guy, then the Fraxi, was it? That cleared that room. Then me with the man.
Right.
And then someone behind me pulling rear security.
Yeah. So Quasi brings up the rear, absolutely, looking behind you.
I'm going to train it out. He's going to stop at that corner.
Now, he can. Sort of he's been using his indoor weapon at the moment. Obviously, he has a much bigger outdoor weapon. If you want to find me something on the list that's suitable for really making a mess, he can unstrap that from his back and sort of lead the way out.
Now, what is a psionic and a protonic beam?
I don't know, but it looks good, doesn't it?
It does. I imagine it's handheld.
I like the idea of an arc projector as well. That looks good.
That sounds like it could be
I
dangerous.
also like blaster machine gun has a lovely ring to it, and imagine it's one of those things on an armature that you sort of walk around on and absolutely go berserk with.
T2 sort of with a
I think that's I'd go for something like that.
Two-handed.
So he'd probably bring that down. It'd kind of like, he'd have to engage. It and it sort of locks down. He puts his other one, slings his other smaller gun away. Yeah, and he can definitely.
God, it's even heavier than the protonic beam.
Yeah, he's a Kandaran. He can handle it. It's
fine. Yeah, sure then. He'll change to that. In fact, then he'll bypass the second in the chain. We'll wait there until last man goes past, and then she'll become last man.
Right. So Quasi, he jams these doors as well. So he puts chocks into the hinges on the doors so that they can't get out, and sort of smacks them in. So if anybody does come this way, now alarms start going off.
Yeah.
Around about now, klaxons are starting to go. There is a rumbling coming from somewhere up here.
Right.
Okay. And you are now heading out of this corridor. So you've got your Kandaran, and then Tweely, then you.
Well, it's going to be Kandaran. Tweely's going to stay there covering that because we've not cleared that. That's all dead space still. So then it's going to be Kandaran, me, Swell,
Quasi,
and then she's going to follow on at the back after last man's fine. Sort of rotate. Where she is. So we're just going to keep moving the train down there. Hope no one comes through that corridor.
We are going to go for. Kandaran's going to make a dex roll, and the robot's going to make a dex roll. Let's make some space here. Kandaran's roll. He gets 16, but he only gets +1 on his dex, so he's got 17. Let's see how Ed 209 outside does.
Is that exactly the same?
That is exactly the same roll. So they both basically try and shoot each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so the robot rolls 19. Ooh,
Was a
dearie
10.
me, and he fluffs it.
Yeah, shot it up.
So let's give the robot the same thing. Was it 3D what?
2d10.
2d10. 1, 2. So the robot sort of swings around. He's heading up. He sort of turns round to you to then realises something in front. Swings his gun round, but the security robot gets a blast off first. Hits him. Ooh, for 8. Okay, so it hits him.
Max, less than 3.5 minutes left.
On.
Your explosives.
Yeah,
You're
that's
gonna blow
fine.
the base up. There's concrete flying everywhere as this thing sort of blasts the end of the corridor. He gets hit and it ablates off his armour. Looks like it's hurting, but not that much.
Right.
But you're basically going to go into initiative now. So that thing rolled 17, didn't it, on its initiative?
Yes.
As did
so.
he. So that's Kandaran again. And do you want to roll for initiative for me? And then I'll roll for the other guys as well. Oh, Max, that's a 5 with a 1. So what's your dex?
1.
1. So
that would be a 6.
That would be a 6. That's shocking. So this fight's going to be all over by the time you go anywhere near it. And Aquasi.
But to be fair, I've got my hands busy. I'm holding a man.
Yeah, Aquasi has ridiculous. So he's on 24. So it might be as a minor action. Aquasi pulls a hand grenade off his belt.
Yep.
Pulls the pin. Goes to lob this thing straight out the door, past the Kandaran. Needs to make a good roll so it doesn't bounce off something.
Could I suggest instead of a hand grenade, it could be a nanoparticle grenade using graphite particles that could short something in the robot?
Absolutely. Would that make you happy?
It would, yeah.
Then
It's
that's
just a bit of
exactly
fluff,
what
isn't it,
is.
really?
It is. I
It
like
does the
it.
same
And he
job.
rolls a 12.
Oof.
So he gets 17 plus his dex as well. So that's a ridiculous roll of about 22, I think, off that. But it's 12. This thing sails beautifully past you, past the Kandaran in slow motion, outside, and not only goes off, but lodges itself into the front of the robot and sort of jams itself. So when this thing goes off, the whole lot of the graphite nanobots or whatever goes straight up into this thing, and just this robot just and just collapses on itself. You guys can make for the end of the corridor and make your way out.
And then we shall.
90 seconds. As you get to the end of the corridor, the rumbling becomes apparent that it's actually the doors to the hangar bay that are opening, and they are coming out in some sort of tracked vehicle. And this thing has a big sort of gun on the back of it, and it's pretty low tech. Someone's actually on the back of this thing, manoeuvring this thing around.
Like
They've not actually seen you yet because they know somebody's here. They don't really know where anybody is. So the first thing they see is the hangar doors open as their robot melt. But they haven't actually seen you yet.
Right.
So I will let you have first refusal on what you want to do. Time is getting short.
Yeah, I'm going to toss a regular smoke grenade as far ahead, basically directly in front, but on the far side.
That'll be a dex roll then, Max.
Yeah, let's go for
Your
it.
favourite.
It is, but I don't know, like
Oh
that. It's
my
not
word,
too
and he
bad.
rolls a 20.
You
Wow,
know.
with a +1 on that?
With a +1.
With a 21, very nice. What happens when the smoke grenade
The
goes
smoke
off?
lands there, and I read the weather chart ahead of time and knew the wind would blow in this direction. And there's a beautiful smoke screen covering about
Amazing.
a 20
Absolutely
metre
glorious.
radius around the room.
Are you bothering to actually shoot or anything?
No,
or are you
I'm
just
just gonna
making
run,
hell for
make
leather?
it to the
Yeah,
half
absolutely.
bite,
So you're
so-
all sprinting out. How long have we
10
got?
seconds.
10 seconds. Literally, we're down. What's the fastest that you can move your movement? It should be on your
10.
character sheet. Right, so 10 metres.
Well, luckily
Set
I've
your
got a
explosives.
plan timed to the second.
Wow, that's
So,
perfect then. And literally, as you get across the car, and behind this whole building just goes up behind you in proper cinematic, dramatic fashion.
Did I or did I not say to the second?
To the second, absolutely. Time to perfection. Everything goes up behind you. The car that was behind you, everything, just the whole lot, just goes up in a huge explosion, a blinding flash. Let's just see. Make me a dex roll because you were very close to that explosion.
What's that?
Ooh,
14.
14. The last thing you know is this explosion goes off. You're hurled forwards by the power of the explosion, and everything just whites out.
Right.
and you are left in a sort of white, you don't know what goes on, a haze of white as everything fades out, and you can hear somebody going, Dante, 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 Dante,
Yeah.
and it fades off as they're sort of shaking your shoulder, and it just goes and fades to white. They immediately kind of put their hands down.
I'm replacing
But-
Bob. Look, we've been through this. Bob's got the shits.
Right. They kind of go, then you won't mind coming back on with us while we clear that up then, will you?
Oh,
Why don't you come back
all
on board?
right. Jeez. Just trying to do a job, but yeah, fine.
And as for you three, he says, turning around to the three Terrans, why don't you just fuck off back to your cabins and go and sleep it off? Jesus. And I take a shower. And it's like, they kind of, they're having a great time. Yeah. Don't forget who's paying for all this. We're in charge. And it's like, well, it's not you, and you didn't pay for it. So get back to your cabins and do the job that you were told to do.
Interesting info. Noted.
And they sort of go off, and you can hear one of them singing up the corridors for a while and all this kind of thing. And says, right. And they look over at the other Valkyrian, and it's kind of like, Taji, what the hell are you doing? It's like, Bob's ill. And he's trying to put the beers behind the seats so that they can't
And
see
I'll
that
be
he's been
helping him,
drinking
just
on
like
the job.
a leg just going and just pushing it a little bit as well.
Are you actually, or are you trying to get him in trouble?
No, I'm actually trying to help
Oh,
because
right, okay.
I want this to be smoothed over quite. Oh God. So
Cunning?
what is this? Cunning
I
again?
think so.
Charisma?
Unless it's not like a Dexy. Actually, it's more of a Dexy thing, isn't it?
Oh, that is, yes. It's
sleight of hand.
Oh yeah, I'm
You've
happy
got very
to.
good sleight of hand. Is that what? Oh no,
Oh,
it's not
10,
one. No,
10 plus the 5, 15.
It goes really well, right up to the point you do it, and you kind of you get it behind the chin. It's like, yeah, that's great. And then there's just a
Ding.
right at the end of it, and they're like, what was that? And he looks up on it like, that is. I just had a couple, right?
Look,
I'm
you've
bored.
kept him offshore
And then
for
but
days.
you shut up, sit down. I don't know who you are, but you're not who you say you are. Give me that ID. And they take this shit plastic ID that you've got that isn't an ID at all, and they kind of go off and they go and run it, but they've got you and oh my goodness me, my name, oh dear.
Ralph
Alaric.
Alaric, yeah, my muscle, yeah.
The both of you sat down. They come back a few minutes later and like, oh, you really aren't who we think you are you? And it's like, I think you better come with us.
Where to?
Oh, we're going to go for a little flight. And it's like, we did the deal. We've got the stuff. It's on board in a bit. And then we're going to leave. And we'll get out of here. We'll deal with these poo when we get them back to the base. And we'll find out who they are and exactly what's going on. For
All right,
now,
I'm gonna. At this point, I'm gonna say, okay, you got us. Yeah, we're a rival gang. We were wanting to get in on the deal. You caught us, but honestly, it ain't that important, man. We take the loss. We take the loss. Just let us go. You get on with it. We won't get in the way.
we'll let you go. We'll let you go straight out the airlock as soon as we get up into orbit.
Oh, come
No
on,
trouble at all.
man. Come
Why don't you go and
on.
make yourselves comfy?
Look. Who's the enemy here?
I'm
Valkyrian
looking at
or
them.
Terran?
Right,
Terran.
I'm looking at them right now.
Oh, come
like-
on.
So what did you bring onto our ship, more to the point?
Just veg, actually.
Ooh, bullshit roll.
Yeah.
In fact, opposed bullshit roll. What are you going to roll? Cunning?
I guess that is what I have to roll, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
I don't think anything else.
Ooh, okay. What did you get?
13. What did you get?
I got 17.
Oh, damn
with
it!
my plus one. With my plus two, I beg your pardon. I got
Oh,
17.
damn it. Okay.
Can't wait. We're going to go and check whatever they brought in. You, and instead of looking at the one who's doing over for drinking the beer bowls, you go and check the manifest. You go and check
The
what
thing
they brought
is-
on board.
It is only going to be 2 crates of vegetables because we took the one thing out,
Yeah, it's also
and it's hidden behind
undetectable
it. Yeah.
explosives.
Yeah, so they will
Oh,
just
point
find out
so-
vegetables because it's like, look, we're just coming to have a look, man. We're just info getting.
Yeah.
Come on, we wanted to make a deal, but your guys were there first. You
They will have
can't
to. I am
blame
going
us
to make
for
them roll.
that.
I'm going to
yeah.
let them roll. But I absolutely will let them. In fact, they're going to roll with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Because it does actually only have veg in it.
So there you go. I think that's a legit. Oh, there you go. So then you get 9 with
Yeah.
disadvantage. So yeah, they do not locate the small explosive device that you have placed.
That I have
because
no
it isn't
idea is
actually in the
gonna-
crates where they've
Yes.
done the thing that does a thing that's going to do a thing at some point in the thinginess.
That we have no idea of. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just basically trying to ham up the idea that, yeah, you caught us. We're a rival gang. We were trying to get the deal, the stuff. You can't blame us for that, but
No,
I
don't blame
acknowledge
you
we
at all.
lost.
Yeah,
We
fair
lost.
enough. Yeah, you did.
Just
And
let
as
us
you know,
go. Just we're no danger
as
to
always
you.
happens traditionally in these things, you pay the consequences. They put you into one of the cabins. So, well, they put you both separately into a cabin. A good deal of time passes.
Oh no, it doesn't.
what's
No,
Quint
it
gonna do?
fucking doesn't. This is Quint's element.
Oh, well, come on then.
Slate of hand, opening
music
locks.
starts.
Yeah.
The stealthy music starts. The Mission Impossible music is going in the background.
Yeah, come on. First of all, it's like tink, 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 tink round the cabin to find access ports.
Okay.
Then it's picking locks. Then it's stealthing out, releasing Alaric.
Okay. So, make me
Okay.
do me some cool rolling. Show me what you can do.
Yeah, but I've kind of blown my wad earlier with the numbers.
Oh.
See? I jinxed it.
Oh,
6.
no.
Plus the 11. So maybe some time
Just not good.
passes.
Some time passes. I'll let you have no, go on, I'll let you have another go. Enough time passes that you can have another go. They are going to keep you in here for quite a while.
Oh,
yeah, the 2 and a 4. Oh dear, Quint, it's all gone very, very badly.
okay,
wrong at the
so
end.
they'll open the door in a few hours' time, and the mattress is just like whatever foam or feathers. It's just everywhere because
Jesus, what have you been doing?
bored, man, bored.
Yeah, well, you know, you'll be bored and dead soon, so it matter. Eventually, and sadly with your poorly rolls, there's the thunk and clangs and clutter of a ship getting ready for takeoff.
But I will point out we have the comms link with
I think they would have searched you for your
Rayla back home. She would have seen us getting caught though.
She will have seen you getting
She
caught.
knows the
Absolutely well.
situation.
But
So
when do the cavalry always turn up?
Okay.
Several things happen
Yeah.
to bring us to a little denouement at this point.
Boom.
Well, not quite. You are brought out back to the hold after the ship comes on. There's that definite switch between real gravity and artificial gravity that everybody who's been on a starship knows well, and you know that you're in orbit. It's a subtle thing, you couldn't quite explain it to somebody, but you know the difference. Bit heavier, bit something, but it's not the same. Comes from all directions, a bit weird. You and Alaric are brought out to think, and they are going to space you. They're getting ready to space you. There's no fuss, there's no nonsense, there's no last words, there's none of that shit. This is literally, we either shoot you now and send you out, or we send you out, so it's entirely up to you. At that point, as they're kind of going to do it, that's when the explosives go off, and all hell is let loose on the ship. Everybody starts scuffling, it all breaks out. Somebody falls backwards, Alaric hits somebody, butts them. They fall back and hit the release on the to purge the cargo hold with you in it. The doors start to come to at the end of the cargo hold, and the beep's now going off along with everything else. And as the seal starts to go on the back doors, is about when the psychic wash from the explosion on Kiki's ship hits you. And at that point, just as you're about to take your last breath of air, we get white out, and you just find yourself swimming along in nothingness, and everything whites out to a complete... I was going to say whites out to a complete blackout. How about it whites out to a whiteout? That would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it?
And then I roll up a new character. No.
And we will see what happens.
Yes,
and that is where we shall leave it.
Very nice, thank you very much.
That is... Yeah, there you go.
That was very good.
There's an hour. It's amazing how quickly it
Wow.
goes once you get going, isn't it?
Yes,
It
absolutely.
doesn't take much to do an hour. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will be on with more sessions very soon. I hope you're enjoying it. Please leave some comments down below, things you might think might happen, what might be going on next. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
And do
All
I
right.
space these dice or keep them?
Oh, yes. Sorry, need new dice. We'll want to know. They did really well for
They
you.
did, and then I jinxed it by saying it, and then at that point
There
they
you
just
go.
went, okay
See, you
then.
shouldn't have kissed them and thanked them. This is what you get back in return. They'll always stuff you over.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.